Hello everyone, welcome to this new video on Construct 3. So it's been a while since I made a video on this engine. I'm still, sometime using it. I've just kind of developed some new skills in some other technologies now, so I don't use it as much as I used to. But I wanted to make a video basically on a technique to present the game, which I want to kind of present essentially. So the idea that I want to show today is how to display a perfect pixel viewport, essentially, that perfectly fits the resolution of the screen and presents, the pixels without any scaling, but also kind of in a proper way. Because if you just set up the game so that it doesn't use any scaling by default, it's just going to look weird. So first of all, you just need a free account. We won't need a lot of events for this. So I'm just going to show you. This is going to be the goal of today's video. So we're going to make a thing called Pixel Perfect. And then in terms of preset, we don't care. You can choose a default resolution. So I'm going to choose this 1280 by 720 resolution by default. But as you'll see very soon, we'll be always kind of updating the resolution. Well, in fact, how can I say is that depending on the size of the window will resize the size of the canvas as well. So I'll show you. So the resolution right there is kind of arbitrary at first. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so to show this this idea, I'm going to be creating a tile map by default. So I'm just going to use the default tile map so we can have an environment. So I'm just going to create a tile map and then select it and go into tile map. And as you see, we have different tiles. So I'm going to pick this tile number 44, this one, this green one. And I'm going to fill, so it's all green. And then I'm going to be picking a few flowers and whatever. I'm just going to draw some stuff. And I'm just going to press play. So I want to show you by default what my goal is, right? So by default, the way that these applications work is you can see the flowers are right now they're drawn in a specific way, but then if I kind of press here, actually there's big black bars, but if I go in full screen, you'll see that the window will get scaled up, right? And then the original pixels are not going to be true pixels for the screen, right? They're going to be kind of scaled up. So this is a typical way that many games are made. They're just kind of into this mode where they adapt and they kind of scale up their content. But there's another way to present this. So we can also say, if we go in the root of the project, we can say here in the viewport full screen mode, we can say off. And you could also change this, by the way, to other mode. Like for example, if you set a simple letterbox scale instead of an integer scale, then the viewport will always resize kind of interactively. It won't create any black bars like before because it doesn't try to keep all the pixels a steady ratio. So this is another way that you can have these scale, right? There's a lot of scaling mode for the display, but let's set it to off. So when you set the display to off, at this point, what happens is if you scale up, you see that nothing will get kind of resized. But it will also stay in the top left, so it's going to be a little bit weird, right? But you can see that we can keep kind of a pixel perfect size for our pixels, and same thing if we kind of crop in, nothing will get scaled down, so it's just going to kind of crop the scene, right? But the problem is it's in the top left, so it's not very good. So that's what I want to show you is like how to improve that so that it doesn't stay in the top left and we can also use it. So I'm just going to make a little decoration here for fun. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the objects and I'm going to add a few objects. I'm going to add browser and I'm going to add another one, platform info. And I'm going to save this project. There we go. So basically the idea now is that we're going to go in the event, and in the event we're going to pick browser, and we're gonna use the event unresized. So whenever we resize the window, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into actions in the system, and we're gonna basically set the canvas size. And this is the layout size. So what we're gonna set it to is platform info dot window inner width and platform info dot window inner height, like this. All right, cool. So you're gonna set it like this. Right. So now, if you expand the view, you can see that we see more. And then if we kind of crop in, we just see less, but also the camera's a bit weird, like it's hard to see properly what we want to see, right? But you can see that now there's no more issue where it stays in the top left, because it's gonna scale up the layout so that it's big enough for the full window, right? So the only thing you need to make sure of is that your default layout, so the full world, is as big as the biggest window you can ever have, so probably a 4K. This is like a 2K, but it's still enough for today's demonstration, but maybe you want a 4K final kind of view, so that if someone has a 4K window, then they don't even need any camera movement, they can see the whole world in one window, right? But now let's add a camera in our case, and a little camera. So we're gonna add a sprite, call it camera, and let's just make the size of the sprite 32 by 32. And now we're gonna just fill it with some color. Also, by default, the image point tends to be in the wrong place after you rescale it, so let's just set image point to 0, 0, like this. All right, so we have this little thing here, this little camera. Let's add a behavior called 8 direction there. And we're gonna set the acceleration and deceleration to 2000 and the max speed to 150. We're gonna set the direction to 8, the angles to no, default controls to yes, like this. And we're also gonna add a behavior called ScrollTo. Now you might want to do it a bit differently, but we're just gonna try it like this. So all right, so now you can use the arrow to kind of move around, as you can see, and you can rescale the map, and you get a bigger viewport for your camera. And if you scale down your viewport, you just get a smaller view for your camera. So you can see, this is what I wanted to show you, is that you can create a game that always stays in a pixel perfect ratio and only kind of presents more or less pixels from the view. So it's a nice way to do it. Of course, you might want the user to play in a specific format, but this allows you to make a game that might work on a really small screen, for example, and still keep the similar art style, you know. So hopefully you like this little demonstration. It's a little unusual, I think, to make the camera like this, and it's something that I'm exploring a lot in my project. So hopefully you find it interesting, and this is basically this is about it. Let me know if you have some question, and yeah, let me know if you like this this presentation style for a project. Thanks for watching.